Hey guys, what's going on? It's Nigel. Welcome back to the second episode of my podcast. Hopefully, this one is a little bit better. Uh, got my bubbly can as my microphone. This is a lot better than having it hang on my thing because you couldn't really hear me last time. But oh man, a lot has happened this week. My truck broke down, which is so crazy because last week I was coming home and my brother asked me to jump this lady's car. And I was like, man, my car has never been broken down. I've only ever like had to help somebody else whose car broke down. And that was my karma because this week, so I'm going to see the Fast and the Furious movie. And I went to go get Buffalo Wild Wings first. So I drive the Buffalo Wild Wings and I was going to see the movie with somebody, but we were like going to meet there. And so I go to pick up Buffalo Wild Wings and I go in, get my food, bam, I'm coming out and I use remote start. I go, dun, 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 and I hear my truck go, and I was like, oh, it's never made that noise before. And my truck didn't start. And I was like, dude, no way. So anyway, I just got picked up, saw the Fast and the Furious movie. By the way, the Fast and the Furious suits, I like baby blue, but those suits were not nice. And people were shitting on the movie. I thought it was good. Um, it was like a little weird, I guess, and I didn't necessarily like the actors that they picked. Like, I'll never not see Pedro Pascal as Joel, and what's his name? The Flash? No, not the Flash. The Flash is DC. Flame on. Um, what's his name? Fireboy. What is his name? Flame on. They call what do they? Dude, what do they call him? The Human Torch. The Torch. The Human Torch. Okay, where was I going with that? The Human Torch. Oh yeah, I don't know. He just looked like a pretty boy. Like I don't know. I thought he's supposed to be like right. I don't know. And then the thing just looked. I know that it's literally a rock man, but the thing literally just looked like I don't know. It just looked fake. It looked like animated. Um, but anyway, it was a good movie. I'm over here shitting on it. I thought it was a good movie. Um, I don't want to spoil anything. Nah, if you've seen the trailer, you know what it's about. Galacticus, he scared the shit out of me. Um, anyway, what was the point of this? Um, yeah. So I went to go see the movie, and then I had to go just jump my car after. Anyway, long story short, I didn't have a truck all weekend. That sucked. It's so crazy because like you don't realize how much your life would suck until you don't have a vehicle. And I'm literally like, I just had to get rides to work all week. And on Friday, because my friend Sean, his his he lives right around the corner from me. His girlfriend lives right around the corner from me, so he's been giving me a ride to work all week. But go away, Ruby. So he's been giving me a ride to work all week, but he had to go in like ass early on Friday because he had to leave early. So it's like 4 o'clock in the morning, which is usually when I wake up. And he's texting me, he's like, "Yo, I'll be there in a couple minutes if you need a ride to work." Bro, I was like 3 hours early to work. It was so ass. And my boss was like, "You can just clock in early if you want." And I just stood in an office. I didn't clock in. I literally sat in an office for 3 hours and I watched old WWE clips. Um, so that was pretty funny. Um, but yeah, dude, I didn't have my truck all week. Couldn't get sparkling water. Literally couldn't get sparkling water. Um, cause me and my brother, we each day we buy like 3 cases. So I'll go one day, he'll go the next day, I'll go the other day. I didn't have a car. Okay, so I come home and I'm like, I was all out of sparkling water. I drank all of it at work. I come home, no sparkling water. And I asked him, I was like, "Yo, did you get sparkling water?" He's like, "Well, it's really your turn." I said, "I don't have a fucking car, asshole." Now we're both thirsty. And he was like, "Well, I have water bottles." I don't want a water bottle. I want my bubbly. So that was annoying. And then the next day, didn't have any sparkling water either. So that sucked. So I didn't have a truck. I didn't have sparkling water. Yeah, it was awful. And I got my truck back. $800, dude. You know what they? Okay, does this make any sense? They charged me $200 for a diagnosis. Yeah. I've never heard of that before because basically, so it was apparently my starter, and everybody at work was like, I could have told you that it was your starter just by hearing it, but they charged me $200 for a diagnosis. I don't know. I don't know. And they said they gave me a discount, $800. And then basically they were like, yeah, so we fixed your starter, but just letting you know, your truck is literally a piece of shit, and it's probably gonna just literally fall apart within a year. Okay, that sucks because I've been walking around saying like, dude, I'm gonna keep this for 15 years. I'm not getting another vehicle, and now they're telling me that like within a year I'm gonna have to. Yeah, I don't know. We're gonna take a brief moment to do a ad for our sponsor, Bubbly. Okay. Not only do I have one bubbly, but I like to carry two because when I get thirsty, nothing better than getting clenched. Your thirst clenched by two bubblies. It was 95 degrees today, but I was hydrated because I had my bubbly. All right. But anyway, yeah, $800. That sucked, dude. So I got my truck back. I have $34, and I have to get an oil changed, and my inspection due up at the end of the month, and I have $34. But well, actually, I have $23 because it's 3 for $11 at the grocery store for 3 packs of bubbly. So I actually have 20 whatever I just said $23. So, but yes, that's how my week started, and I was basically just depressed all week because of that. So that really sucked. Um, yeah, but I have it back now. But anyway, so I've been depressed because of that and my job, dude. That's the worst part. There's nothing worse than you're depressed because your truck broke down. So then you get a ride at 4 o'clock in the morning to go to the job that makes you depressed. Oh man, it was a week, dude. It was a week. It was a week. And then on what was it on Friday? So on Friday, my friend picked me up, and he always goes to Dunkin' Donuts in the morning. So we go to Dunkin' Donuts, and I was like, all right, I'll have any breakfast because I had to wake up so fucking early. And yeah, this Dunkin' Donuts lady was mean as shit. So what did I order? I ordered a bacon, egg, and cheese. Cuts me off. I don't know what it is with these fast food places. If you see my TikTok, the Starbucks lady cut me off. They don't let me finish my sentence. She's like, all right, what can I get you? I said, yeah, can I get a bacon, egg, and cheese? And she cuts me off. She goes, on what? And I was like, what do you, what was that? She goes, on what? And I didn't understand her. I go, huh? And she goes, what, you just want bacon, egg, and cheese on a plate? You don't want it on anything? And I was like, damn, bro, my bad, a bagel. She's like, okay, pull through. But yeah, that shit was fucking rude as fuck, dude. You know she hates her job. Damn, is that what I sound like when I'm at work? That's probably what I sound like when I'm at work when somebody asks me a stupid fucking question. Yeah, dude, I don't know. But yeah, and I was supposed to. So was supposed to have an interview Friday at this coffee shop in my neighborhood. I just found it too, and me and the dude's like, "Hey, like, you want to come in at 4?" And I was like, "Yeah, I'll be there at 4." And then he switches, like, Actually, how about 4:30?" And I was like, I mean, yeah, actually, like the later the better works for me. So, yes, he was. So I was like, yeah, the later the better for me. And I show up at 4:30, and there's nobody there. So I DM them on Instagram, and I was like, hey, I'm here for an interview at 4:30. And they DM'd me. They were like, hey, Nigel, it was at 4. Oh, yeah, because I DM'd them. I was like, did I say that? Yeah. Hey, I'm here for my interview. I was like, it doesn't look like there's any cars in the parking lot. Like, is my interview still going on? Yeah, you were supposed to be here at 4. And I was like, no, the dude said 4:30. And then anyway, we had a misunderstanding. So I'm going to set up a new interview. But I'm like so excited. I'm pulling up. I'm like, all right, yeah, I'm going to get this job at this coffee shop, dude. And then I get there and there's nobody there. And I was like, damn it, dude. Um, so I still don't have another date, but yeah, that was crazy. Oh, man. Yeah, it's like you spend all day like annoyed at work and you're like, all right, I got a job interview though. Let's do it. And then they don't show the job doesn't show up to your job interview and you're just like, what the fuck, dude? Yeah, I don't know, man. So I have a book idea, a new book idea. Okay, y'all know I love Ben Franklin. Love Ben Franklin. All right, Ben Franklin. If, as you know, he discovered electricity. If you don't know, but basically, my idea. I shouldn't say this because then somebody's gonna steal it. Nah, nobody's gonna watch this. um, so basically, when he's doing his thing with he's got the key on the top and he's discovering lightning, or not lightning, electricity. Basically, he'll get zapped, and then he's gonna fly like or time travel to the future, and it's gonna be Ben Franklin in 2025. And then I'm just gonna that's all that's the only idea I have right now. I don't have any other idea of like what's it's gonna be like. So I basically just have to think of like what would Ben Franklin do in modern day America. Oh, he would for sure podcast. There's no way he wouldn't podcast. He would definitely podcast. That's the only thing I could think of. He would definitely podcast. There's no way he wouldn't podcast. He would be yeah, he would have a bigger podcast than Joe Rogan. He'd probably be on Joe Rogan. Um, oh, well, I guess an interesting idea. Would he, like, would we all know that it's Ben Franklin because he time traveled? But nobody would believe him, though. Anyway, he would podcast. So that's my book idea. I think only it would have one, I would be the one that would publish it. And it would only have one buy, and it would be me. I would be the only person that would buy that. Um, but I think that sounds like a pretty good idea. So, yeah, I don't know. Man, yeah, it's been this week. I was like all excited. I was gonna do a bake sale. 3 people came. It's crazy. I spent all of Saturday, literally from like 3 o'clock to like fucking 2 in the morning, just baking and baking and baking. I made fucking 24 cinnamon buns. I made 24 chocolate chip cookies. 24 um like whatever you call it cookies. I don't fucking know what they're called. M&M cookies. Yeah, peanut butter M&M cookies. Blueberry muffins. 3 people showed up. Spent $100. Made 40. That's not a sale. That's a, that's a loss. I had a big loss. Um, yeah, I don't know, man. All right, I'm gonna end it here. It's been a shorter one. Next week, I hope to have a guest on. I want to have either Ian or my friend Dave on, but they never want to do it. But I would like to have somebody to actually talk to. But anyway, I'm gonna end this one here. Thanks for watching. Thanks for our sponsor, not paid, Bubbly. But they're my boys, whether they see this or not. So, thank you guys.